get to our top story. Israel and Hamas have agreed to extend the pause in fighting by another day. The two sides struck the deal overnight, just minutes before the truce was set to expire. This as Israel and Hamas had last-minute disagreements over which hostages should be freed. In a statement, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu explained the Israeli government gave Hamas a deadline to provide a list of women and children who will be released next, warning if that does not happen, the fighting will resume. Netanyahu says that deadline was then met. Officials say the terms of this extended pause are the same as before, in which Hamas must release 10 hostages in exchange for Israel freeing 30 Palestinian prisoners. Negotiators had been hoping to get an even longer pause in the fighting as the humanitarian crisis in Gaza is worsening. Before the pause in fighting was extended, Hamas released 16 hostages, including one American. The group consisted of 10 Israelis, 4 Thai nationals, and 2 Israeli-Russian dual citizens. 49-year-old Liat Benin was among the 9 or so Americans believed to be held captive in Gaza. We don't have an exact number, nor does the White House, of how many Americans are being held. They think it's between 7 and 10. She and 4-year-old Abigail Edan are the only Americans to have been released since the truce began on Friday. Joining us now from Jerusalem, NBC News chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel. So, Richard, another day, another 24-hour extension. They're coming in small increments, but another batch of hostages released, which is good news.
It is good news, but I can tell you things are not looking nearly as encouraging today as they were when we spoke yesterday. Yesterday, there was hope that there could be a two-day plus extension of this truce, that there could be a path to potentially a wider deal. But in the 11th hour, this truce was agreed to only be extended by 1 day. There was a major disagreement when Hamas put forward an initial list saying they were going to hand over 7 hostages and the bodies of three hostages who were killed, according to Hamas, in Israeli airstrikes. And Israel rejected that. And the talks do seem to be, I don't want to say breaking down, but entering into a much more complicated phase. So we are now only in a 1-day extension, and then there's tension building around this negotiation. There was a shooting attack here in Jerusalem this morning. According to Israeli police, 2 Palestinians from here in Jerusalem, from East Jerusalem, attacked a group of Israelis, killing 3 of them, wounding several others, 3 of them in serious condition. And then yesterday, there was a raid in the West Bank city of Jenin, and 2 Palestinian boys were killed. They were buried last night in the darkness, which is very unusual for Muslim burials, because the people were afraid that the Israeli military would raid Jenin again. So tensions are already starting to escalate significantly as the talks are starting to break down. So I think we could be entering into perhaps the final hours or the final day of this truce before Israel resumes its military campaign against Gaza. But doing that has costs. Doing that has costs for the people of Gaza, obviously. According to the health ministry in Gaza, run by Hamas, about 15,000 people in Gaza have already been killed. And for Israel, there's the cost. There is the cost that it will once again face an international public relations backlash if it starts its military campaign against Gaza, particularly in the south. And it could slow or stop this process that we're seeing now, where Hamas has been slowly releasing some of its hostages in exchange for relatively low-level Palestinian prisoners. So it's not over until it's over, but this morning, Willie, things are not looking very good.
So, Richard, when the fighting resumes, as you suggest, it may happen very soon from the Israeli side. We've been talking to military experts in the last couple of days who say they expect it to be perhaps more targeted from the Israeli side, meaning special forces, special operations, looking for hostages, perhaps less bombing. Is that your sense of things, as Israel is aware, with a little nudge from the White House perhaps, that it needs to stop killing civilians as it looks for Hamas?
That is the messaging that has come from the White House. The White House has quite publicly been briefing journalists, making public statements, saying that that's what it wants Israel to do, that if Israel does go ahead and resume its bombing campaign, it wants it to be more targeted this time, not just using heavy bunker buster bombs in crowded refugee camps like it did in Jabalia and other parts of the northern Gaza Strip. But we will see if that happens. Israel's consistent argument has been that Hamas uses human shields, that it puts its tunnels under civilian areas, and that there is only so much that it can do. So we will see if it is more of a targeted campaign. Israel may claim that it is carrying out a more targeted campaign, and Hamas and the people in Gaza could easily claim that Israel is carrying out indiscriminate bombings. So a more targeted campaign is a bit of a degree of perception. So I'm not sure that necessarily we're going to see a campaign that is bloodless and that will be accepted by the world. We will see what happens, frankly.
NBC News Chief Foreign Correspondent Richard Engel reporting live from Jerusalem again this morning. Thank you as always, Richard. We appreciate it.